The following program is a presentation of Jez Sports.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Main Event Podcast. Today, we are having a look at the, over 2 weeks, NXT Halloween Havoc. Yeah. My name's Dan. That's Jez. How you doing, Jez?
I'm all right. I'm a bit tired, but I'm all right. Yeah, I'm feeling your enthusiasm just jump through the screen for this 2-week Halloween Havoc event, which can only bode well for the rest of the show. How ready you are to talk about the thrills and spills of this historic event. A WCW pay-per-view for years and then revived under the NXT brand. It can only be as good as the best of the historic Halloween Havocs, like the one that we watched a bit of with Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. I think that was 97. That was a particularly good one. And I'm sure this 2023 edition will sit alongside those on the pedestal of the greatest Halloween Havocs of all time, right?
Nah.
Spoilers. Yeah, I think we will just kick straight into things. In case you are tuning into the show for the first time, which is possible, we're in lots of new places, and there have been lots of new followers since we last streamed on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Jez, that's Dan, and we go through the good, the bad, and the ugly of the biggest wrestling events going, including ones that we've watched. I'm like, mate, that was nonsense, such as potentially this one.
Yeah.
This one kicked off with a performance by New Year's Day, which is not a confusing band name at all, and their song Vampire, which was the theme to week 1 of NXT Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
And they did it again the following week with another song that was better than this one. I can't remember what that one was called, though. But your thoughts on New Year's Day and their performance?
Yeah, they were all right.
Yeah, I think it was a return to back when we used to have decent bands opening NXT events. Yeah, like they're no Poppy. Let's get that right. I don't think you're ever gonna get better than Poppy as an NXT theme music, because Poppy is awesome. But I mean, they were decent. Yeah.
They were decent. I enjoyed it.
Certainly better than that hip hop nonsense we got a few months ago. I can't remember who they were, but it was nonsense. I think that's going to be a key word today. Nonsense.
Nonsense. Yes.
Yeah. So it was a nice way to start the show.
Yeah.
It gave us hope that it was going to be rocking all the way through. Yeah. And then we got into the matches. Before we get into the matches, let's just have a look at our prediction score to date. We predict each event, and the cumulative score adds up across the quarter for that World Prediction Championship belt there in Dan's hands. If you're watching a video version of this podcast, it's very pretty. Very bloody expensive, I will say. It hasn't gone very well for me in the last few weeks. I was leading for a little while, and then it's all gone wrong. But coming into this event, I am on 83, and you are 6 ahead of me on 89. With, as of recording, about 3.5 weeks to go. Survivor Series is the last event of this quarter. Yeah. And then we'll reset and do it again and give me another chance, basically. Right, first match. A Devil's Playground match. Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James. I can't believe this enthusiasm, Dan. With that enthusiasm, you're going to have to kick off. The good, the bad, and the ugly of Devil's Playground, sir.
To be honest, this was one of the better matches, I think, of night one.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, the choices wasn't much to go on for the rest of the night. But I've got a few things. Using the chain around Perez's wrist. Hello.
Bouncing about.
I forgot about them. Swinging from a swing set into the kick, using a fence post, side Russian leg sweep onto the slide, which just disintegrated, which was quite good. Using the handbag and then pop rocks onto the handbag. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was bad.
I'm less convinced of that fact than you, I think. Yeah, I've got more bads than goods.
Yeah.
The goods, yes, using the swing set as the weapon, that was unique, and all of the other little, things that they were doing there. Russian leg sweep through the slide, I think, was a particular standout, as you mentioned. Just things you don't usually see.
Yeah.
But it was all, let's have a devil's playground so we can do those things. So I'm not sure that it's got anything to do with Roxanne Perez and Kiana James particularly. It's you could throw anybody in this match and those spots would be there, and it's the spots that were good. It wasn't them. They didn't do anything particularly special in that moment, I don't think.
Yeah.
And it may sound like I'm being a little harsh, but I've also looked at the rest of the match and I'm like, okay. It just seemed at various points like they were moving in slow motion. I didn't see the best execution from either woman at various points. It was like we go from one spot to the other and then we're going to do these transition moves that looked textbook, but they were just a bit slow and it just looked a bit rookie.
And one of these women was a former NXT Women's Champion.
I know, yeah. And lost the belt in kind of weird circumstances. And I'm wondering if it is because they looked and okay, we rushed that.
Yeah, we messed up.
Yeah, and they did rush it because, I don't think they had any plans of taking the championship belt away from the former champion at the time, Mandy Rose. It's just, you got your boobs out on camera. Okay, you've got to go, haven't you? So
you've kind of got to get out of it.
So, let's give it to the only other woman that we've had on television for the last 6 months. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do.
So, yes. Next, the referee putting the trash can in place for Kiana James to powerbomb Roxanne Perez through.
Yeah.
Just right there on camera. I'm like, are we not even trying anymore, are we?
No, not trying.
We're just like, this is...
We don't need to try.
You don't need to try and suspend my disbelief. This is just... It's fake, guys. Here you go. There's a trash can. I'm supposed to be an impartial official, but I'll just help them put things through. Put each other through things. Yeah. Just sloppy nonsense. Yeah. The commentary was kind of annoying, and I don't know if it's because I watched it a few days later on the WWE Network instead of on the live feed with the picture-in-picture. I mean, I don't even know what version you watch, whether you watch it on TV or whether you watch it on the network a few days later.
On the network.
Yeah, so you don't get the picture-in-picture advert breaks anyway when you watch it. Okay, so you'll understand this kind of annoyance. It's like when it says, you won't miss a second of the in-ring action, and then not 20 seconds later, it's a commercial break. And yes, they did picture-in-picture for all of the matches when you watched it on television.
Yeah.
But can they not just do what AEW do with, Fight, and have the commercial breaks commentated on as well for the network? Give people a reason to watch that network version later?
Yeah.
It just seems like that would be a better idea to me. But yeah, it just struck me as funny. It's like, you won't miss a second of the action, except now when we go to commercial and you'll miss 3 minutes. But I didn't mean that. I meant the other bit that you'll miss later in another match. Yeah. And then this one is more a gripe about what they didn't do rather than what they did do. They didn't use that kiddie pool full of crap.
Oh, yeah.
It's right there, guys. Just throw each other through it. It doesn't need to be a big spot. Just literally go and yeet them through it and send the stuff flying everywhere. What a waste of a good kiddie pool full of crap. So yeah, I wasn't impressed with this match. I really wasn't. And I guess it's because I'm not really impressed with either of these women.
No.
Roxanne Perez, the prodigy, I'm yet to see it, if we're quite honest. I am yet to see it. Kicking off the show with a W for the both of us, though, because we both went for Roxanne Perez for the win. And it's been a few weeks since I could say this, but we start as the ones, 1 point apiece.
Yeah.
And now I get the thrilling opportunity to be the first to discuss the debut of Lexis King, who took on To Be Announced, also known as Dante Chen.
Go ahead. Have at it.
Where to start in terms of good, bad, and ugly? Because I've got all of them. Let's start with the ugly first of all. That stupid painted-on beard on Brian Pillman Jr., who I don't think I'm going to be calling Lexis King. Sorry, bro. I just don't think I can do it. Yeah. If you can't grow a beard, maybe just don't have one.
Yeah.
It's a bold idea, I know, but if you can't grow a beard, just don't have one on television. Because it looks dumb painted on. And I don't mean, dumb painted on like Hogan's double colour NWO, like Hollywood Hulk Hogan, blonde, and that was obviously fake and painted on too, or coloured in some way. But it's like, okay, but he's doing a thing. You're not pretending to be your dad, while also pretending to be your dad, not pretending to be your dad.
Yeah.
And it's all a bit confusing, and I just don't...
Yeah.
It's just not working for me. And all I can think is Michael McGillicuddy. That's all I can think. You have the son of a wrestling legend who, with just a flick of using a proper name, could instantly at least get a little bit of a foot up on the wrestling business. But no, we're going to change his name to Lexis King.
Yeah.
I'm naming myself after the man that raised me. I'm like, okay, if you're going to do that, could we have a little bit more on him? Was he called Lexis King? Is it just King? Is it just the surname that you're taking? Yeah. Why was he so important to you? Is it just that he was there and he didn't have the gall to die like your dad? Is that it? I'm like, and this whole thing like, my dad wasn't there for me. I'm like, mate, he died. He didn't really have a choice in the matter. He couldn't exactly help it. Yeah. I don't think he woke up one day, yeah, right, my kid's 4, that's enough life, I think. I'll see you later. I'm out of here. It's just stop whining. I know it's probably crap, but honestly, it's just a stupid gimmick.
Yeah.
A stupid gimmick. The only good thing I have about this match wasn't about Brian Pillman Jr., it's about Dante Chen. And it's, he showed a veteran move in that match that Pillman didn't even bother to consider. And it was right at the end, after the finish, when Brian Pillman went for the pin and hooked the near leg, Dante Chen lifted his other leg at the same time so that his feet wasn't in the ropes. I'm like, well done, Dante. You do what Pillman didn't bother to do, where he should have hooked the leg on the other side or hooked both legs. Like, well done for covering up for him. Like, because although this is his debut match in NXT, Pillman isn't a rookie.
No.
He had a good couple of years in AEW.
Yeah.
Most of that was tag team work, sure, but he had a few singles matches. Like, he faced MJF in a fairly high-profile thing and did really well. So I just don't understand how they've brought him here and just totally ruined every possible opportunity that he had to be good.
Yeah,
like you're a junior of somebody who was beloved in this business. Oh, what's that? We're changing your name, but we're still going to call you Brian Pillman's son. Okay, well, it all just is confusing, and I don't like it, and it's all nonsense.
Yeah,
nonsense. I don't suppose you've got anything to add?
No.
Did you like the match?
No.
I've
literally just got in my notes, fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't suppose it was a bad match, but I was too busy being angry to care. But Lexis King won, and that's what we both predicted. So we move
what a surprise.
to 2. A thank you. You went a bit robot then. I hope that doesn't continue. Match number 3. Kalani Jordan versus Ariana Grace in the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Good, the bad, and the ugly, sir. Go.
I've literally got fine again.
Yes. I have match that happened in this.
Yeah.
It certainly was there. And Kalani Jordan certainly won. That said, I really like Kalani Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the way that she's integrated the gymnastic kind of things into her moveset. And it's one of the few of those NIL rookies, we talked about them at length in our last NXT episode, that's actually seemed to be integrating the thing that they did in college into their wrestling. I mean, I know Lola Vice does a bit of the MMA stuff, but also she's dull as dishwater. So, but yeah, I was really impressed with Kalani Jordan in this match, more so in the next one that we'll discuss. But we'll get to that. But yeah, there's really nothing much to say about this match, other than I went with Kalani Jordan.
Yeah, I didn't.
You went with Ariana Grace, so I will move to 3, and you will stay on 2.
Yeah.
No, thank you. NXT Tag Team Championships: The Family versus Chase U. This had match that happened vibes, for sure. The only standout moment for me in this match was the German suplex used to break up the pin by Duke Hudson. I thought that was a nice move. There was a lot of bad. There was no effort made at any point by the referee to send illegal men out of the ring. It was just like, this is fine. This is I'll just pretend it's a Texas Tornado tag team match. Why not?
Yeah.
The roll-up win. I'm like, oh, well, we're changing the titles on a roll-up. Great, thanks, NXT.
Yeah,
wonderful. Right. Yeah, excellent. And this whole story with Thea Hale, I thought this was going to be the culmination of it, and that she was going to throw in the towel on them and be like, well, you threw the towel on me and I wasn't ready to quit, so, you know, have a bit of your own tea there, Mr. Chase. But no, even though the crowd were like, throw the towel, they didn't capitalize on that and just do something useful.
Yeah.
And, did you have Chase U winning this match?
No,
neither did I.
Not at all.
Because it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Did you like the match?
It was fine. That's about it.
It was certainly there.
It was there.
And we got new champions out of it.
There.
Yeah. Well, let's move on then. No change in score because we both went with the family.
Yep.
Moving on. Please be a decent match. Lights out match. Gigi Dolin versus Blair Davenport. Was it a good match, Dan?
It was fine. I feel a theme happening here.
Yeah, it's like fine and nonsense. They're the buzzwords of the day.
It was fine. You know, whatever. It was just basically a Extreme Rules match, effectively. Just go
and that was a little bit of the problem with this event. It's like, spin the wheel, make the deal. First of all, what deal are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense. I'm sure there's a reference to like The Price is Right or something, but that works for a very small subset of your overall audience. Anybody outside of America that it isn't in the house during the day watching game shows has no idea what you're talking about. But also, these are all just variations on the same no disqualification. But in this one, we turn the lights out.
Yeah,
that's going to make a difference.
Yeah,
somehow. It's a little bit darker, and it looked cool. Don't get me wrong. I love a bit of colour, and I love a bit of purple. So them rocking the purple while turning the lights out was decent. But it was just basically Extreme Rules, and it wasn't even that extreme. The main bad that stands out to me was Blair Davenport struggling to turn over the table. Like she's trying to set up the table, and she just didn't have the strength to lift it and turn it over. I'm like, So disappointing. And then Vic Joseph blaming it on the dark was hilarious.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So how does the dark affect you flipping a table?
They weigh more in the dark, Dan. It's just got to be that way.
Is that science?
It's some kind of science. I'm not sure. It's
knowledge.
Yeah. Tables weigh more in the dark.
Yeah.
Quote Vic Joseph, circa 2023. Hello, Mike. Welcome in. Both well, thank you very much. Good point. The only good point. I felt like Gigi Dolan's belt slaps were on another level and were just way harder than Blair Davenport's.
Yeah.
And I'm getting pretty disappointed in Blair Davenport. Again, not her first rodeo. Definitely not her first rodeo. She's been doing this for years, especially extreme stuff. And that was what we got.
Yeah.
Even with Gigi Dolan also has been doing this for years. And this was the match that you gave us, the culmination of this rivalry.
Yeah.
I don't know who is producing these matches for NXT, but
not good.
It hasn't been brilliant. It really hasn't.
No.
We both went for Gigi Dolan, so we get no points there, which was the logical choice. But Gigi Dolan's just not allowed to win, apparently.
Yeah.
Lola Vice versus Carmen Petrovic, the other semi-final in the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Over to you.
All I can say is you can tell they were beginners. It was, do I say it, just not good.
I've got a match that happened. I haven't got bad, but it was very much let's have a little match and go through the motions. And I only have one standout moment. Petrovic's really nice crossbody through the ropes. Yeah. She's obviously been perfecting that in the Performance Center, and that was decent. But other than that, it came, it went, and no one cared.
No one cared.
Yeah. Made all the impact of a slightly wet fart. You knew it happened. You may have some slight lingering effects, but ultimately, it'll come out in the wash.
Oh, God.
It's not scripted, ladies and gentlemen. That just came out of my brain right there in that moment.
That is how bad his brain is.
That's what this event does for me. Invasion McMikey watching on Twitch says, I've never watched NXT before. Don't. We're here to tell you don't bother. Actually, that's not true. No. Get the WWE Network, go back and watch NXT from 2017 until 2020.
Yes.
And then stop.
That was good.
Yes. Watch any of the NXT takeover events.
Yeah.
And you'll be watching some of the best events to happen in the last 20 years. However, now it's lost its way, I think is the best way of putting it. It has lost its way. And I think I said before that we're going to stop doing the TV specials for NXT. I think I should listen to myself this time.
Yeah, I think this is like the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah. I mean, pay-per-views are slightly better. What was the pay-per-view that we had a few weeks ago? That was
No Mercy.
Yeah, that was all right. Well, we gave that
was all right.
We gave that at least a middling score.
We enjoyed that one. So
yeah,
but these TV specials, I think we just need to give up.
Yeah, it's just a shame because they have so much potential, and Halloween Havoc being the historic thing it is, I'm like, put in an effort. Yeah. Honestly, it's not difficult to put on a good wrestling event with the talent you've got. Could you do it?
Yeah.
Main event of night one.
What was the predictions, by the way?
Oh, yeah, good point. We both went for Lola Vice, so we both get a point. Takes me to 4, and you're on 3.
To be honest, I think these women's breakout tournaments, half of them are literally get a coin, flip it, that's who's going to win.
Well, based on the final, I think you might be right, frankly. Yeah. Is it the WWE training ground, so to speak? Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's the young talent that lots of whom at the moment are being trained from scratch. And it's not even that they're bad at the wrestling, because they're not. Even the really fresh talent that have barely been doing it for months, in the ring, what they're doing is decent. But there's no story being told. And I don't blame them for that. I blame the people producing the match, the people who are sitting down with them before the match and are talking them through the kind of ring psychology and how to engage the crowd and all of that. There's no crowd engagement. The crowd are up and at it constantly because it's a Florida crowd. It's the old Impact Wrestling crowd, basically. And they're into it, whether it's poop or not. But... yeah, when you're watching on TV, you're like, and there's a headlock takeover, rather, and all right, that's a suplex, great. And now we're going to segue into an arm drag. There's a drop kick, and then there's probably a roll up for the win, right? Yeah, that was thrilling. Thanks,
NXT.
And if there was one match we could turn to in night one and think, yes, this is going to be a good match. You would hope it was the main event. Let's find out. NXT Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria.
You can go.
It's me, isn't it? Yeah. It was a decent match, but it was nothing special.
Yeah.
And considering the hype that they built around the fact it's, two Irish women, one of whom has already been to the top of the mountain, the other is on their way to the top of the mountain and has all the talent and the ability and everything like that, and suffered some setbacks.
Yeah.
I just felt like there could have been more from this match. I really do. I just feel like there could have been a few more standout moments to validate the last month of Becky being champion. There was nothing special about this match.
No.
There was nothing bad about this match. It just came in, it went, and it served only the purpose of Lyra Valkyria winning the title. And if that's all you wanted to achieve, then Becky Lynch could have just laid down in the middle of the ring and saved us the effort, frankly. Two things that were good. I mean, Lyra Valkyria did look, the business and is ready.
She did look good.
She is ready for the big time.
Yeah.
The question from the chat is, do many make it into WWE, as in onto the main roster? Yes, most do. The difference, and not to take away from this match, but to go into another topic, the difference between NXT in the period that I said you should go and watch and the difference between NXT now is the intake of talent is different. Yeah. Back in the day, they would look around the independent circuit and pick off the best people from Ring of Honor and I can't think of another independent off the top of my head.
Impact.
Yeah, well, it's not really an independent, but yes, even picking up stars from Impact Wrestling and some of the minor Evolve. Yeah, even over here with the London-based one, Rev Pro. Things like that. So you would already have guys that know how to wrestle, know a lot about the ring psychology and how to engage a crowd and all of that kind of good stuff that you need, where the hard camera is and all that excellent things. Now, they are literally training people from scratch. And it's like, you're a good athlete. You can probably learn this. In you come, we'll teach you how to wrestle from ground zero. Yeah. And while some of them will make it, I mean, I think the only example of one of those NIL, the athletic talents that's going to make it without doubt is Tiffany Stratton. Yes. Tiffany Stratton is incredible, both in the ring and on the mic and engaging the crowd and all of that. Like, she is the total package. She has got it. Yeah. At the same time, her training has not been exclusive to the WWE Performance Center. No. She has gone elsewhere and has been training with. I can't remember who it is, but she is training with a big time veteran. Like, I'm gonna have to look it up now because it's gonna bug me. I tried to remember last week and I couldn't. Tiffany Stratton Legend Training is what I'm gonna search and see if I can get something from that. Greg Garnier, thank you.
There you go.
She's been training with Greg Garnier, and let me tell you, Greg Garnier doesn't train everyone. Greg Garnier is not interested in just picking up a bunch of students, really. He's only going to train people he actually believes in, and has been very vocal about how he believes Tiffany Stratton has got it, and that is translating to television.
Yep.
So the roundabout answer to your question, Mike, do many make it up to the main roster? A lot did, but they weren't necessarily treated with enthusiasm when they got to the main roster. And so most of them have gone off to AEW now. I know you do watch AEW, Mike, and a lot of the stars that you see in AEW thriving right now are former NXT talent.
Yeah.
Adam Cole is the main example, Samoa Joe. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head.
Keith Lee.
He's not thriving exactly or even relevant, but Swerve Strickland is a great example. Yeah. And So it's a strange period for NXT, and the next few years are going to be very telling when they've got a few guys that are aging, and I don't mean that they're going to retire tomorrow, but it doesn't take much for someone to have to retire, and there are a lot of guys deciding that the grass is greener on the AEW side, and so you're going to try and fill your talent roster with NXT talent in a few months, years. And is it going to be there outside of Tiffany Stratton and Carmelo Hayes? No, not really. I mean, Ilya Dragunov will make it. He's probably one of the last indie signings that's still with the company, really. Bron Breakker, I suppose, but did they train him from scratch? Probably not.
No.
The guy's a genetic freak, like his uncle. Anyway, anything to add about the NXT Women's Championship match?
Not really.
I did have one last good that I neglected, actually. Lyra Valkyria's dropkick through the ropes while also holding the ropes so she didn't go through.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a pro move, and it's unique. You don't see that, really. And that was decent. But, Valkyria looked good. Becky Lynch looked good. The match looked average.
Yes.
And, we both went for Becky Lynch for the win. As you'd probably expect. So we will end night one with a score of 4-3. And we'll keep those numbers rolling, hopefully, into night two. First up, it's the Creed brothers versus Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah. It's me, innit?
Yeah.
Great. It's alright.
Is that, I mean, are we just finding synonyms for fine now? And so that we don't have to say fine, we're going to find synonyms.
Yeah, it's alright.
So, all right.
I still don't get Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. I don't.
I watched those video promos where they were like, we're receiving the spirit of our grandfather. I don't know why they sound like the mafia, but they do. Go with it.
Was this The Godfather?
Yeah. We're receiving the spirit of my grandfather. And I didn't really understand how that meant that they had these kind of slash tattoo things.
Not even
all
tattoos.
Of a sudden. Or paint-ons, or I mean, it's supposed to be they've been literally clawed, isn't it? It doesn't.
Yeah, it looks stupid.
I don't understand. Like the design itself is fine, but it's like, what is your granddad a wolf?
Like, what was that? Wasn't there a tag team in TNA?
Yeah, the Wolves.
The Wolves, there you
go. Yeah, Eddie Edwards and the other one.
That was it.
Mikey Richards.
Yeah. And he had a
Davey Richards.
He had a tattoo of a slash or something, didn't he? I think.
Well, they didn't originally, and then but when their tag team took off, they both got the wolf slashes. I think that's why Eddie Edwards wears a t-shirt all the time now, because he doesn't want to show that tattoo off.
Is Garza's and Carrillo's relatives with?
It's gimmick infringement, flat out, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Wolves called, and they want their gimmick back.
Yeah.
Also, could you hire Eddie Edwards in NXT? Because he'd probably make a decent trainer.
Yeah.
Fix some of your guys.
This match, though, was just all right.
Yeah. I will give a major bit of props for the name Tables, Ladders, and Scares.
Yeah, that was all right.
As now a dad, I say now, I've been a dad for a while, but I like a good pun. And this was a particularly good one. Instead of tables, ladders, and chairs, it's tables, ladders, and scares.
Yeah.
And when I told my wife that, I got an audible groan. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. It is that level of pun. You're right, and I love it. You
have reached that peak of punness.
Yeah. I'm here for those puns. I will take that all day. If NXT was just somebody coming out and making these kinds of puns for 2 hours, I'd be like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
5 stars.
There you go.
And then the other obvious standout moment was the scoop slam from the top rope into the ladder on Julius.
Yeah.
But it didn't look very nice after the fact. Literally ugly was the welt on Julius's back after the ladder scoop slam.
Yeah.
So probably shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
As I was watching it, my mother-in-law was sat in the corner and was going, "Stop throwing people on actual things." I'm like, I can't argue with you there. It's a fair point. Like,
it's a fair point.
This isn't supposed to leave lasting damage. It's supposed to be choreographed. It's like, stop throwing people onto actual things. So, you're quite right. You should probably write them a letter.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen to the letter.
And in the same vein, and it's not just NXT, we saw it very recently in Impact Wrestling as well. Stop using tables sideways.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. That's not how the table breaking process works. You've got to land in the bit in the middle where there's nothing underneath it, so it breaks and you cushion your fall. Not onto the legs, so you just go gonk and you just bounce off it and break your spine, and the table doesn't really break except if you hit your head on it in the back. Are you trying to die? What are you doing? Stop using tables sideways. Everyone in wrestling. I'm talking to you and you and you. You know who you are.
Welcome to Rants with Jez.
I've got that show already.
Don't get me started.
They're slightly less wrestling related, but only barely. And then finally, the cannonball through the tables was good, I guess.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Both went for the Creed brothers. Both pick up a point for the first match of night 2. I will go to just 5 points.
Pick up a point.
And you'll go to 4.
4. Just 4, guys.
Right, next, I got very excited at my next opportunity to see Tiffany Stratton wrestle against Fallon Henley.
Oh, yeah.
And then it didn't happen. Yeah, why? Why didn't they have this match?
Because reasons.
Are you really going to drag this out to Deadline or whatever the next pay-per-view's called?
Deadline.
I think they've got another TV special in between, which we're not going to cover now.
No, we're not going to cover that.
Not until you improve
Jesus
NXT.
Christ.
Yeah. I was disappointed this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Especially because, I was convinced I was going to pick up a point on this one. I went for Tiffany, you went for Fallon Henley. I'm like, this is an easy point for me. I can't wait. And then it didn't happen. I was like, so yeah. Mucho disappointment.
Yeah.
And the disappointment kept on rolling with the NXT North American Championship match. Dominic Mysterio versus Nathan Fraser. Did you like that segue?
Yeah, I did.
It was accurate.
But I was just looking at the match.
Yeah. Did you have anything on this list? Good, bad, or ugly?
Well, Dom being dragged out by Rhea Ripley in handcuffs.
Yeah. I did like their entrance actually. Yeah. I haven't got that in, but no, I did like that.
No, I liked that. No.
Yeah, this was a match that happened.
Yeah.
Add it to the list of match that happened in this event. And then one comedic bad.
Yeah.
Dom missing the drop kick to the back.
Yeah, that was rather bad.
Added to the fact that Vic Joseph said, right to the back.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
No, not so much, no, actually. Right to the air. And Nathan Fraser sold it anyway.
Yeah.
Why can't we have nice things, Dan?
Because we've obviously done something bad in a former life.
Do you remember NXT TakeOver Chicago in 2018?
I do.
Do you remember how incredible that event was?
Amazing.
Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Probably one of the best matches I've seen in my life. And I can't even remember what the main event for that show was, but it was probably Tommaso Ciampa as champion.
Probably.
Maybe even Finn Balor as champion. But either way, what an incredible time. Yeah. It was a great event. I remember writing about it. Or maybe it was 2017. The Tyler Bate and...
which one was it? Chicago or Chicago 2?
Oh, I don't know. Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne.
Chicago 2.
Chicago. What years does this say? Be useful.
Chicago 2 was 2018.
Yeah. It was the first one, so 2017.
First one.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at what matches.
It was for the NXT UK Championship.
Yeah.
And it was before they started doing the matches there. Alistair Black versus Kurt Hawkins in a non-televised match. Okay,
Velveteen
fine.
Dream.
Let's not talk about that.
Drew
McIntyre.
Wesley Blake.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah.
Wesley
Roderick
Blake.
Strong defeated Eric Young.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne, Tyler Bates.
Great match.
Asuka versus Nikki Cross and
Asuka,
Ruby Riott.
I mean, going back to Mike's question earlier, do any of them make it to the main roster? Asuka was on a tear in NXT. She was undefeated for like 2 years.
Here you go. Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami.
Hideo Itami, yeah. What a waste.
Itami.
Also known as Kenta.
Yeah.
What a waste of him.
The Authors of Pain.
This was it, yes.
Versus DIY.
Yeah, which on the surface sounds like trash, but this was the match in which Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano, and that's why I had Tommaso Ciampa on my mind for this event. Yeah. What an event. We're not talking about that event, though, are we?
I love how bad this is, where we've gone completely onto a different event.
Yeah, I might reminisce about another NXT event at some point. Yeah. Predictions. We both went for Dom because why wouldn't we? I'll go to 6 in the Motor City, and you'll go to 5.
Guys.
How many matches we got left?
Points.
Oh my God, there are so many matches left. Bron Breakker versus Mr. Stone.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the point of this match was. Quite honestly,
this was just to hype up Von Wagner's return.
Okay, so have him return in the match and actually have Mr. Stone beat Bron Breakker. That's how you make an impact in this match. Not just, and Mr. Stone's been squashed like everyone expected. Nothing special here. All as advertised. Von Wagner's there. Okay, great. He's back. That's nice, isn't it?
Great. Okay.
He got his head crushed by some steps, but he's here. He's all right. Oh wait, no, he's a bit woozy. Yeah, that'll happen when you get your head crushed. Okay, well, good. Von Wagner's back. Thanks. Let's move on. It was just a bit. It went down like a lead balloon.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
What about the predictions?
I care about
Let's
that.
Go.
Yeah, we both went for Bron Breakker because we're not insane.
We're not idiots.
And that moves me to 7 and takes you to the Motor City.
Where are you?
I'm both in Detroit, and I think that's like New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe Alabama. I don't know geography. WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Thea Hale and JC Jane. I got nothing, mate. I've literally got nothing.
No, what I was doing then was trying to work out another word for fine that we haven't used.
I don't even think it was fine. I think fine would be generous.
Shall we just go,
yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, Piper Niven's face paint made me... I'm going to have nightmares. Cringe. Yeah, I just wasn't a fan, to be honest with you. I much preferred the cosplay they did on Raw as the Heart Foundation.
Yeah.
C'est magnifique. Where was this? Yeah. Where was this ingenuity on this NXT actual on Halloween show? No, you just painted your face a bit with ugly teeth. Oh, okay, that's scary looking, but really, I'm moving on. I can't.
Yeah, move on.
I honestly can't.
Move on.
I went for Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. You went for Thea Hale and JC Jane, and I can see why you did, but things don't make sense in NXT, Dan. You should know this. I will move to Fortune 8, and you will stay on 6.
Motor City.
That was a very sad Motor City.
It's because of this event.
Rather than Detroit, Michigan, that was more like Flint, Michigan, who haven't had running water since 2015.
Yeah, it's about right. Moving on.
That's a geography bit of fact for you. Bit of geography knowledge. Hello, Eric. Welcome in. Did you watch NXT Halloween Havoc, and did you hate it like us? That's the question. Kalani Jordan versus Lola Vice.
Go.
Oh, thanks, Guy. Very generous of you. I feel like the wrong person won.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that just because I picked Kalani Jordan to win.
I also picked Kalani Jordan.
I'm saying that because Kalani Jordan has talent and looks good in the ring, and Lola Vice doesn't. To be frank, I wouldn't say she's trash, but she is not on the same. Pardon me. She's not on the same level of development as Kalani Jordan is at this point. Yeah. I would say, and in no way am I attributing Kalani Jordan's success to being with Dana Brooke for a little while. I'm sure other people will claim that because she works really hard. Then does Dana Brooke? She works really hard. But yeah, I just didn't get it. Yeah. This choice. You wanted the heel to win. Fine. The babyface won last year. Was it Roxanne Perez last year? Was it that last year's one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But I was super impressed with Kalani Jordan.
Yeah.
It was the first time in this entire event that I'm like, oh, somebody's doing something unique in the ring and it's exciting. She was doing weird kicks and special arm drags and just adding variation to moves that we were used to. And I'm like, she's actually doing something and she's getting the crowd involved. My God, maybe this event isn't total trash. And then she lost. And I'm like, no, never mind. It is. Yeah.
Scratch that. Yeah.
Again, we just can't have nice things, Dan.
No, we can't. We're not allowed.
No. Do you remember when in NXT they brought back War Games? Do you remember they brought back War Games?
Yeah.
And it was the first women's War Games, and they brought that back, and it was the super exciting moment where we didn't know who the fifth member of a team was going to be, and Dakota Kai came out and saved the day. And then she turned on everyone, and it was incredible. And Dakota Kai turned heel. It was massively, massively entertaining. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't that.
No.
Anyway, I don't know what year that was either. Probably 2019.
Probably.
I'll Google it while you talk about the main event. NXT Championship. God. Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. Oh God is right. Yeah. Before you say you're good and the bad and the ugly, I'm just gonna say this statement.
Oh God.
The look on Trick Williams's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What was that? Was that a positive look? Was that a negative look? What was he? What was that?
It was the Gormless look. That is what it was. The Gormless look.
Was I supposed to garner some information from that look. Is he saying that Carmelo Hayes is the person that attacked him? Is that what that face says?
Maybe.
Not quite sure. Is he coming and saying, "Oh, where were you when I got attacked? Nowhere to be seen." It could have been that. I don't really know.
I don't really know either.
I don't really understand what that look was supposed to be.
No.
And I get long-term storytelling and you're trying to drag things out a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of wanted a definitive answer in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I don't care whether it was Carmella that attacked him or not, because you're making me wait too long to find out.
Yeah.
And that kind of deadpan, gormless look on his face, just looking, just doesn't do it.
It's the gormless look.
What is that look? Do you hate him? Do you love him? I don't know what this is. Like, stop it. Anyway, good, bad, and the ugly. Go.
It was fine, I'd say. I mean, I liked the start where it was a quick back and forth. Yeah, there was stuff that happened.
I'm going to challenge you to find another word than fine. We need to at least close this out with another synonym for fine.
Let me consult the Oracle.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, the Oracle informs me that the War Games match that I was talking about was in 2019, so I was right.
Okay.
I do remember some things. Okay. Synonyms for fine. Go.
Hey, hold on.
God, is your phone slow?
Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Accomplished.
Don't think that works.
These aren't.
Did you type fine? Did you?
Yeah.
You sure? I can only hold these guns up for so long, mate. Seriously, lactic acid build-up. Let's go.
Carlton, you need a workout, so. Dusty. I like that one. Powdery.
This is the wrong type. That's the wrong type of fine. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
I will say this is the first match of both nights that I have more goods than bad, I think. I'm just going to confirm that fact. Yeah, there's no goods there. Oh no, there were more goods in that Creed Brothers match than bads. But that's it. So yeah, I did like a few things, and they were mostly Ilya Dragunov related.
Yeah.
The H-bomb through the announce table was obviously great. Seen it before, but it was cool. A super display of neck strength and dexterity as Dragunov just out of nowhere dropped into a low bridge. So like from standing, just dropped backwards and then rested the top of his head on the mat. I'm like, mate, how you do that without breaking every bone in your spine, I don't know. So kudos to you. You have got some hench skills there. And generally, I thought this match had a good pace. There were lots of strikes, there was lots of speed, but ultimately it went nowhere. So shame on that.
I've got a word.
Okay, I can hardly wait.
Satisfactory.
There you go. That is a synonym for fine. You heard it here. Heard it here first, folks. Satisfactory. The main event of NXT Halloween Havoc.
There you go.
Do you have anything good to say about it?
No.
Do you have anything bad to say about it in particular?
No.
My only bad, did Dragunov really need to yeet the sweets?
No.
It's just unnecessary. It's just, why? Poor sweets. Now what's Vic Joseph going to eat in between saying stupid things like, what a dropkick, or whatever he said in the Dom match? Right to the back. That's it.
Square in the back or something.
Square in the air above his back. But we will at least close this out on a good note. Yeah. We both predicted Ilya Dragunov for the win, which takes me to finish on 9.
Yeah.
Which is the most I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
And you will finish on 7.
7.
Which isn't too shabby either, to be fair.
No.
I mean, it's no 9, but
Yeah.
7's satisfactory.
Yeah, it's satisfactory.
See what I did there?
But I'm still in front overall.
You are, but considering I completely forgot to predict an entire event, I'm not so unhappy with the fact that the current score is 92 to me, 96 to you. I'm only 4 behind, and there were like 10 matches on that card, so I could have been 10 behind plus the ones that you got. I'm not out of it yet.
No.
I'm not out of it yet.
I'm just happy that we are actually going to break 100.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second shortest quarter of them all.
Yeah.
Like, I would be surprised if we broke 100 between Survivor Series and Royal Rumble, because there's hardly any events in that.
Yeah.
Which is my time to shine, baby. We'll get that in there. Okay, I dread to think what this number's going to be.
Oh, God.
On this day, Dan, I see clearly everything has come to light. Bitter place and a broken dream. And that dream was called NXT Halloween Havoc. Again, not scripted. That just came to me. I don't think that this show merits me making the effort to come up with a witty rating system.
No.
So, flat out, what would you give this out of 5?
Not even going to give it a 2.5.
It's not even okay, fine, satisfactory.
It's not even okay, fine, satisfactory. It was just there. I don't know what to give it. Just something low.
Yeah, I think the lowest we've ever given anything is 1.5. And that was that awful, what was it, SummerSlam 89 on the retro?
Oh, yeah.
That was bad. And this wasn't anywhere near that bad.
I think I'll go for 2 then.
I think 2 is probably where I'm at as well. Yeah. Like, we're not at SummerSlam 89 levels, but things are pretty bad in NXT right now.
Yeah.
Pretty
we're slowly
damn bad.
Drifting that way.
And, you know, I love Shawn Michaels. I really do. I'm starting to question whether this is the job for him.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Things are not getting better.
No.
In NXT. And that scares me for the future.
Yeah.
Speaking of the future, next week we will be back to discuss WWE Crown Jewel, which takes place at a very sociable 4:00 this Saturday in the UK. So I'm going to watch that with a nice couple of beverages, maybe some light snacks, maybe even some dinner. That's the time of day it comes at. So, so do tune in. You won't. You'll be in work.
I'll be working.
Somebody's got to. It ain't me.
Yeah.
So tune in next week and find out what we thought of that. It has to be better than NXT Halloween Havoc.
Oh, it has to be.
Touch wood. Famous last words, commentator's curse, all of that.
Well done.
Come and see us cry when it's not better than Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
Crying on camera's fun.
Just see me curled up in the corner over there. Rocking back and forth.
You know how some streamers have like a cat cam or a dog cam where they go to like their cat bed? This would be Dan cam, and it'll just be you rocking back and forth in the corner, and I'll just talk at them for an hour.
Just holding this, just like...
All Halloween Havoc and no NXT TakeOver Chicago makes Dan a dull boy. And that's a Halloween reference we can end on. See you next week, everyone. I've been Jazz.
I've been Dan.
This has been the Main Event Podcast. A toodles.
Bye.